So you have selected KJ Bolden as your war daddy, the #1 safety in the 2024 class. Before we talk about his recruitment, though, what is it about Bolden's game that has our rankings crew labeling him as the top safety in this cycle?
Well, he's one of the most versatile defensive backs in the country. He's a guy that can play safety. He can play nickel. You can put him on an island at corner. He's a fluid athlete that can really run. He's also a two-way standout for one of the best high school football programs in the country. He could be highly recruited at receiver, but he has a special skill set in the secondary. And he's finished third in the triple jump in the state. He's been a state champion in the 4x1. He's got 10.7 speed in the 100-meter dash, so he can really run. He's a fluid athlete, a space eater on the back end that brings a lot of versatility to your secondary. And in addition to all those traits, I mean, he's just an incredible leader. He's the guy that the Buford football team looks for in that standpoint as well. I talked to his mom. She talked about how dedicated and passionate he is about everything he does. And then I talked to his head football coach, Bryant Appling, who, called him a special kid on and off the field. This is a young man that wakes up at 5:45 in the morning to get his mile running. Then he gets over to the school at 6:30 for his workout. How does he get there so fast? He lives across the street. Coach can look out his side office door and he can see KJ's house. So he's got the convenience of Buford's beautiful football facilities right across the street from him. And he takes advantage of it, gets in there, gets his workouts in, leads by example, leads vocally. So in addition to the tangibles, he's got all the intangibles coveted at the position, comes from a great family, and these college football programs love him.
Those early mornings have been paying off, Steve. Over 40 scholarship offers, a who's who of college football on that list, including Georgia, Ohio State, Auburn, Florida State, many others still pursuing KJ Bolden as well. But what's next in his recruiting process?
Well, Florida State was first to offer him back in July of 2020. So he was one of the very first players in this class to see his recruitment go national. And with that, he's been making game visits for years. He's been on these campuses so many times. I think there's a little bit of a pecking order going into the next round of visits. He's going to be at Georgia for the Bulldogs spring game this weekend. I think that they've set the tone in this recruitment. I think that they're the one to beat with the standard that their program has, proximity to home. I think people in his family love Georgia. They love Kirby Smart. And look, Georgia's recruiting him as hard as anybody on the board, from Kirby Smart to Fran Brown on down. And so I like where Georgia stands for KJ Bolden as he returns to Athens this weekend. I think that Alabama is another school that's in really, really good position for him. He has told me before that Bama is legendary. You're always going to get the best coaching, and who wouldn't want to play under Nick Saban? He's been to Ohio State several times. He went to their season opening win against Notre Dame, returned for their game against Michigan. He's got an official visit locked in for June. I know he's in regular touch with Perry Eliano, Ryan Day, and that staff. He feels really good about Ohio State's future. The Buckeyes have the #2 recruiting class in the country, and I think that they are very much in that one as well. Couple of other schools that I know are on the short list for KJ Bolden. Clemson. He was recently back there. Loves the culture at Clemson. It was one of his dream schools. Is really connected with Dabo Swinney. He's talked about the graduation rate there. And look, his mom said, look, we're on a 3-year plan, and that's also academically want to graduate him in 3 years. Clemson's 98.6% graduation rate, looking sexy to KJ Bolden and his mom. And the 100% employment rate at graduation is amazing. Those are a couple stats that he threw out at me. So no question he's looking at Clemson deep. Auburn's a program that did not make his top 15, that he dropped at the start of the year. He's taken 2 visits there this spring, and each time he leaves, he's wanting for more. Can't wait to get back. Between Hugh Freeze, Zach Etheridge, that program on the rise, the new facilities, just all the juice and excitement that new staff has on the Plains. It certainly caught KJ Bolden's attention. He was there this past weekend for their spring game, and Mother Nature downpouring on Auburn certainly didn't dampen his experience on Auburn's campus. Florida State and Arkansas are 2 more that are in there. Florida State was one of his dream schools since he was little. They were first to offer him. And with that, Arkansas coach Marcus Woodson started that relationship at Florida State. He's now at Arkansas. KJ went out to Arkansas this spring. I know he really enjoyed his time out there as well. So they're in the mix for an official visit.
A lot of great information there. The important takeaway, though, is if I want to be an elite athlete, I just need to live across from a really nice gym. Is that right, Steve? That set me up
Right
for
across the
success?
street from the high school.
Love it.
Straight beeline the coach's office door, which might
Perfect.
not be a good thing sometimes. Probably a good thing for KJ Bolden all the time, but maybe
Yeah.
not every defensive player.
That's true. It seems like he can definitely handle himself, though. It's working out quite all right. Steve, thank you so much. Appreciate the intel.